As long as he kills this fly, he can get $10,000. Chit tries it with doubt. And a few seconds later, $10,000 indeed appears in his account. Immediately, the mysterious person tells him that if he eats the fly, he can get another $50,000. Although he feels disgusted, Chit still does it in the face of the tempting reward. Sure enough, $50,000 is credited to his account, which is more than his annual salary. Before he can rejoice, the mysterious person calls and says that if he completes 11 more games, he can win a prize of $100 million. The prize money accumulates with each level. But if he fails even one level, the game ends, and all the money in his account will be cleared. Additionally, Chit must not be found out by anyone else that he's in the game, or it will be considered a failure. Chit presses the participate button without hesitation, thinking that he is about to become a billionaire. He first beats up the colleague who bullied him, then throws his work badge to his boss, and leaves coolly. Chit was a salesman who worked diligently every day but earned very little. His colleague deliberately stole his clients, and his boss planned to fire him. To make matters worse, his only asset, a car, was forcibly taken away because of overdue loans. Meanwhile, his mother and sister at home kept demanding living expenses and tuition fees from him, pushing his life to a desperate point. So when he received the mysterious person's game invitation, he agreed without hesitation. Soon, he receives the third game task. Make 3 children cry at a kindergarten. Passing this level would earn him $100,000. Chit pushes a little boy to the ground. However, the boy doesn't cry, thinking that Chit is playing with him. Seeing this, the other children also crowd around and start playing with Chit. In a panic, Chit accidentally steps on and breaks a toy, causing a child to cry out of sadness. Chit immediately understands how to pass the level and starts grabbing toys from the other children. Amidst the crying, Chit passes the third level and earns $100,000. Seeing this, the kindergarten teacher calls the police immediately, and the colleague Chit beat up files a report at the police station. At this moment, a homeless man comes to the police station to report that his begging money was stolen. It turns out that this is Chit's 4th task, robbery. At noon, the mysterious person invites Chit to dine at a luxurious restaurant, which is also the 5th level of the game. Looking at the dishes brought by a beautiful woman, Chit feels a bit uneasy. However, when he lifts the cover, he almost throws up. The plate contains a piece of feces, but if he eats it, he can get $500,000. Chit feels very resistant, but if he gives up now, all the accumulated prize money will be cleared. In the end, Chit suppresses his disgust and eats everything on the plate. Coincidentally, at this time, his good friend Tong also comes to the restaurant, and Chit runs away in embarrassment. Remembering Chit's strange behavior recently, Tong begins to feel suspicious. Before Chit can finish vomiting, the 6th level's task arrives. The mysterious person instructs Chit to go to the bus stop to meet a contact and exchange task information with him using a phone. The contact turns out to be a madman who thinks he is a king. Seeing that Chit doesn't kneel to salute him, the madman pulls out a knife. Helpless, Chit has no choice but to cooperate with him. However, the madman doesn't give him anything, only tells him the time, 13:13, and instructs him to take the next bus. Sure enough, at the specified time, the phone of a thug in the back seat rings. Chit knows this is the task clue, so he immediately snatches the phone. This angers the thugs, and they beat Chit to the ground. Chit begs the thugs to give him the phone, saying it is very important to him. However, the thug demands that Chit lick his shoe. Just as Chit is about to lick it, the thug kicks the phone off the bus. Chit instantly becomes furious and starts fighting with the thugs. Eventually, he and one of the thugs fall off the bus. The thug picks up a butcher's knife and slashes at Chit. Chit picks up a pig leg to defend himself, then uses another pig leg to knock out the thug. He suddenly discovers a piece of paper with the number 6 on it in the thug's pocket. It turns out that he has already passed the 6th level. The mysterious person calls to praise him, saying he has achieved the highest ratings. Chit then realizes that his participation in the game is being broadcast as a live show. Meanwhile, Tong discovers through Chit's computer that he is participating in a dangerous game. She decides to stop Chit. The 7th level of the game takes place in a dilapidated wooden house, where a television is playing a video. It introduces the owner of the house as an old man abandoned by his son. While Chit is confused, the mysterious person calls to tell him that the old man has died in the well. He needs to retrieve the old man from the well within 10 minutes and notify his son to collect the body. The prize for passing this level is $1.2 million. Thinking the task would be simple, Chit is surprised to find out that the old man has been in the well for 10 days. He suppresses his nausea and climbs down the well wall, only to accidentally fall to the bottom. Seeing the decayed corpse, Chit is scared to death. He first throws the old man's severed arm up, then ties the corpse to his back. Chit finally climbs to the mouth of the well, but the countdown is almost over. He tries to use the old man's severed arm to pull the distant phone closer, but accidentally throws the phone away. Luckily, the old man's other hand catches the phone. In the end, Chit contacts the old man's family and completes the task. In the evening, on his way home, Chit suddenly encounters his ex-girlfriend. He tells her that he is about to become a billionaire and hopes to reconcile with her. However, his ex-girlfriend already has a new boyfriend. Chit turns away in disappointment, and at that moment, he receives the task for the 8th round. The mysterious person instructs him to use 2 objects related to the number 8 to strike each other. Chit notices the number 8 on a stool and also sees the number 8 on the man's clothes. This time, without hesitation, he grabs the stool and violently strikes the man until he knocks him unconscious. Seeing his ex-girlfriend crying in sorrow, Chit finally calms down. He hijacks a taxi and takes the man to the hospital. Chit sees on TV that he has become a wanted criminal, and the police have also arrived at the hospital. He disguises himself as a corpse and successfully evades the police, but also scares the doctor. Following the mysterious person's instructions, Chit finds an elderly lady with dementia in the ward. As long as he takes her out of the hospital, the 9th task will be considered complete. Chit changes into a patient's clothes and takes off his glasses, narrowly escaping the hospital. He has just sent the old lady home when a new task arrives. However, it doesn't seem difficult. It's just helping the old lady with housework. The old lady instructs Chit to fix the broken clothesline, but he notices that the other end of the clothesline seems far away. Chit walks to the door and finds that the clothesline actually stretches across the entire road. At that moment, a group of bikers is speeding toward him. He immediately shouts to warn them to stop, but it's too late. In an instant, the heads of a dozen people are only half intact. Chit is both terrified and remorseful. He only wanted to make money and never intended to kill anyone. Although he passed the 10th round, he is not happy at all. At this point, Tong has already found him. She urges Chit to quit the game and turn himself into the police, or else he will end up killing himself. But Chit is already too deeply involved and cannot turn back. He pushes Tong aside and answers the phone. The mysterious person tells him that the game has failed because he was discovered participating in it. However, the audience voted to let him continue. The 11th task is to find a samurai sword in the pile of corpses, and Chit needs to choose between killing Tong or her dog. The mysterious person tempts him to kill Tong, as she would definitely hinder Chit in the later stages of the game. Chit hesitates for a moment but ultimately ends the dog's life, and then receives a reward of 40 million. Angry and disappointed, Tong goes to the police station to report the case. But when the police open the game website she mentioned, they find nothing. Tong sees the same numbers and symbols on the documents on the table as those on the game website. This suggests that the police are also involved in the game, so Tong leaves the police station. As soon as she steps out, she encounters some villagers who came to report a case. Their cows were killed with a samurai sword, and the organs were removed. Hearing samurai sword, Tong knows this was done by Chit. She goes to the cow sheet and sees the number 12 on the cow's body. This must be the 12th task. At this moment, Chit retrieves a key from the cow's organs and opens the door to the final game round. A light screen appears in the room, showing Chit's previous game footage. Following the bloodstains, Tong also finds this place, but she suddenly passes out with someone covering her mouth and nose. When she wakes up, she sees that the game's designer is just a boy. Tong accuses him of being ruthless and inhumane, but the boy responds that he never forced anyone to participate, and the decisions in the game were always in the hands of the participants themselves. After watching a replay of his evil deeds, Chit finds a man with a bag over his head in front of him. When he removes the bag, he is shocked to discover it's his father, and the condition for winning is to kill him. It turns out this game was specifically designed for Chit. As a child, he suffered severe abuse from his father. Unable to bear the abuse, Chit once tried to kill his father but failed. Now, with the chance for revenge in front of him, he can't help but pick up the knife. But other memories flood into Chit's mind, those rare but precious, warm moments between father and son. Although there were very few, they are enough to soften his heart. Chit ultimately chooses to give up.
เขาไม่ได้แพ้หรอกนายต่างหาก
but the light screen shows that the winner is about to be announced. Before he can question it, a sharp pain hits his abdomen. It turns out that Chit's father also participated in this game, and between family and money, he decisively chose the latter. Lying in a pool of blood, Chit doesn't know if he regrets it, while his father is cheering for winning the 100 million reward. Seeing this, Tong is utterly devastated. The boy tells her that this game is nothing compared to the cruel reality of the world. Humanity hides behind masks, and when the masks are removed, you might find yourself even more ruthless than these players.